Alright guys, as you can see we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. We're going to be painting some of these Tyranids up. I've put some of the flesh colours on that I'm looking at, and I think I'm going to go with kind of like a black scales on, or chitin, whatever you want to call it, on most of them. Reason I'm doing this is I've got my first 40k game coming up and I don't want to go in with an unpainted force. I want to try and get them painted up as much as possible. So we're looking at these green ones. I think we're going to start with those. We're going to get some of the other ones out of the way. Made a bit of a mistake on this winged prime. I don't really like that green on the scales. I think I might change that up. I might go with black. I'm considering going with a darker green. I'm torn. I'm really torn. I don't know whether I like it or not. Yeah, something's just not hitting right with it. I don't know. Maybe it's the other green, the flesh green, that I'm not liking. I don't know. I think I'm going to go over it with black and see how I feel about it afterwards. I also need to do this kind of bony structure in the wings. There's a bit there that needs snipping off, actually, now that I'm just looking at that. Yeah, I think we're going to stick with like a black chitin across the entire army. I've done multiple different colours and there's a number of reasons for that. So the actual army name is called Convergence, and the idea behind it was that it's like a coming together of multiple different defeated what are they called? I forgot what the Tyranid armies are called now. Hives. Let's get the little duck out of the way. The duck of judgment. Multiple hives that have kind of defeated hives that have come together to form a new hive. That was the idea behind it. Partly because I didn't want to paint them all the same colour. I know a lot of people like to go uniform and paint them all the same colour, but I wanted to do them different colours. I liked, I mean, I first started with Behemoth, and I really liked some of the colours. Let me show you one of the ones. So I can't remember what this hive's called, the red and black one. It escapes me right now, but these are kind of some of the first ones that I painted. Let's get some, let me just move the light. There you go, so you can see that a bit better. So that's one of the first ones that I painted. It was the red and black. And then a friend or somebody that I know, well, I don't really know them, I saw them on Threads, and he had painted his in this colour. Is that Leviathan? I can't remember. So I started painting some of them like that, and I thought, you know what, let's just go different colours. Let's just work our way through them. I did some in the traditional colours that you kind of see on a lot of the Games Workshop. I started off doing some of the lighter pink skin or lighter purple and the darker purple scales. I need to get those finished off as well. But yeah, I'm looking at these and then I noticed I had this necrotic flesh paint that I haven't used. I've had this probably about 4 years. I'm not even sure if it's still gonna come out of the pot. I've dropped a ball bearing in there to give it a bit of a shake. I really want to see what it will look like with a dry brush over the flesh, to see if it will kind of pop those raised areas and make them highlight. I don't know. I guess I'll try and have a look. Oh, that's still coming out. That's nice. That's a good consistency. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna. Oh, let's give that a bit of a mix. It's not very well stirred. I should have given that a bit more of a shake. It's a little bit lumpy too. Maybe this won't work. I guess I'll find out. I'm going to try and give it a little bit of a dry brush. That is a lot of paint. Let's get some of that off the brush. I've got some tissue roll over here. Let me see what I can do with this. Let's get this light down here. I've got a magnifying glass that I use when I'm painting. I'm not too concerned if it goes on the scales, because like I said, I'm going to be painting over those black, and I think that's too creamy. I guess we'll see. Yeah, I think it's too creamy. It's making it look a bit cloudy. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's not perfect, but it's adding a little bit of layer to it. I don't know whether you guys can see that on the camera. You can see the difference between those two. Let's bring that light up again. It's added a little bit of something to it, a little bit of texture, I guess. Yeah, why not? We'll go with that. We'll stick a bit. Maybe just on the darker ones. I don't think it'll even. I don't even think it will show up on the other ones. I'm tempted to use this this sponging technique. I've never done it before. I'm a little bit worried that I'll completely mess the model up. Yeah, that looks quite good actually. Yeah, a little bit worried that I'll mess the model up if I do the... oh, I've just fucked that up. That's too much, way too much. That's alright, because I can do a little wash over the top and that'll make that a bit darker. Yeah, that's way too light there. And too hard pressing with the brush. As you know, I'm very new to this hobby and I'm learning as I go, learning every day. Yeah, that's way too much there. Have I got a green wash? I think I have. Let me just have a little look up here. I mean, I've got lots of different greens. Let's just grab them all. Bring them down here, put them at the back. What else have I got? Algae green, ghillie dew. Some of these, I really need to paint these. Really need to paint these helmets that I've got to stick on the top of the bottles. Okay. I want to see what it looks like on these lighter ones. Let's get that one out of the way. That doesn't look too bad. Ooh, press too hard with the brush there. Well, that doesn't look too bad. Sometimes it adds a little bit of character, doesn't it? And also helps to blend the colours together. I'm just roughing that over. I really don't know how I'm going to do this. I was thinking of doing the wings black. Yeah, I really feel like I've made a mistake on this one. Oh well, we live and learn, don't we? I'll figure that out. With the psychophage, I'm going to do all of this black. When I sprayed this, it didn't come out very well. I think it was a little bit damp that day. I shouldn't have sprayed them outside. I'm going to go with like pink on the inside there. And I'll do these kind of pink as well. I think the face I'll go green. I don't know why I haven't painted that yet. I think I probably just overlooked that. And then under here I need to do green. Probably round the back and this part I'll do green as well. Hope I can remember what green I used. If not, then that's going to be problematic. Let's get a little bit of green on this one. That's dried out. Let's get a bit more paint on there. And just drag it across gently. Not concerned if I get it on the wings. I'm definitely doing the wings black on this one. I kind of made my mind up. I don't know whether that's gonna Whether that's going to look any good, but I guess I'll find out. It's such a faint colour, look at that. You can hardly see it even on the white. Alright, enough of messing about with that. I'm not convinced that that's looking very good, to be honest. Oh, hello, messed that up. I'm not overly concerned when I make little mistakes like that. It's not the end of the world. I used to really freak out and panic about stuff like that. But I know once it all comes together, it tends to take shape right at the end. I think maybe we panic a little bit too much when we're painting models. I don't know. You tell me, do you guys panic a bit? Also, I always remember now that I'm looking at this under a microscope, a magnifying glass, and it looks 10 times worse under here. Quite often when I just hold it out at arm's length, I think, oh damn, that looks a lot better than I thought it did. So I don't panic too much anymore. I'm just dragging that across quite roughly sometimes. Oh, I did that one already, didn't I? I didn't do the psychophage though. Maybe we'll just do it on just the really raised areas of him. I've got a very busy cutting board right now. Yeah, just drag that across roughly. Okay, I'm going to go in with the... I'm going to wash that first. Get that paint out of the dry brush. There's actually quite a lot in that. That's weird. I must have stacked it too far up. I have a habit of doing that as well, putting too much paint on the brush. Just going to grab a little drink. Nice caffeine-free Pepsi Max. Let's try some grim black on these green. See what happens when we paint those hooves and scales. Now this is either going to look... That's a really dirty lid of that paint. Let's give that a bit of a clean, shall we? Look at the state of that. What's happened there? We almost had a complete catastrophe there. This little bit came out. I've just pushed it. That's coming out really, really easy. That's not a good sign. Let's push that back in. I think I need to invest in some of the speed paints too. I swear by the speed paints, as you've probably heard me mention in past videos if you've seen any of those. Right, I am going to get these greens. Let's get all of the other ones to one side, just off of the chopping board. Oh, I've got Ursula Creed's base there. I need to... I'll be building Ursula Creed in the next video. It's going to be a pretty short one, I think. It's the bonus pack that I got with the Combat Patrol delivery this week. Right, we're going to do the Termagants first. And I've just realised that their bases aren't primed. Why didn't I prime their bases? That's annoying. Well, it's not the end of the world. I could just paint it freehand, but well, I don't understand what I've done there. Anyway, let's get... Oh, hello. Why is that not coming out? Oh, there we go. We got some black. What brush do I want? Let's go with the 0 maybe? I think we could probably get away with a 0. I might go slightly smaller. What are my other options? Hello, the lid's just come off the 2.0 or the O2. We've got a 3. Let's go with the O2. That looks about right. It doesn't look too small. Yeah, we'll try that. We can always go bigger, can't we? Let's put that somewhere where I'm not going to lose it. Let's get that brush wet. Let's get some black on there. And I want my holder, because I don't want to be dropping the model. Okay, let's move everybody out of the way. You can all be bystanders, innocent bystanders. Let's go on with this black. I don't think this is a... This is what a traditional hive colour, but I'm doing it, I don't care. It's like I always say to people, it's your army, you built it, you named it, you paid your hard-earned cash for it. You paint it however, and build it however you want to paint and build it. God, my hand's really shaky. Anybody know a good way of stabilising your hands? Somebody said to me, like, rest fingers on fingers and try to have them both resting on the table. Yeah, I'm going to have to be quite careful with that. I don't want to go over the edge and batter the model. It's a little forgiving, it's quite a big area, but I don't have particularly steady hands, as you've probably heard me mention in the past. I don't know whether that's something that comes with age. I am 46 years old. Some of you probably thinking, 46, he's an old geezer. I don't feel that old. Not most days, anyway. Maybe the day after the gym, or particularly after leg day when you can't even sit on the toilet without shaking. Jesus, what's going on with my hands? Just calm yourself down. Really concentrate on the end there. I think that's a good contrast, that black and green. I really do. Oh, I've just realised, what am I doing? I'm being really extra super careful so it doesn't go onto this white bit, and that bloody bit needs to be black as well. These little bits as well, on the backs of the elbows. Just to break up those arms a little bit. I see some people don't paint them, I see some people do paint them. Figured I will. What else? Oh, the gun. God, my eyes are going blurry already. God damn, I've only done one model. Let's move that magnifying glass up a bit. There we go. Just change that focus a little bit. Balls. Went over that a little bit. I can see I haven't done very well with the clipping on these, and that's annoying me. Seeing that. Okay. think we're in a good place with that one. What have I missed? That's the back of that elbow from the inside. What do we think? I'm join that. I'm going to get some black on the rest of these. In fact, we're going to put them to one side. Let's do... Should we do the Von Ryan's Leaper? They're going to be a pretty integral part of my my force. I forget what I've called the force. It's the one where you can use Neuro Node and remove them from the board and then put them back on closer to the enemy. I forget what it's called now. Let's see how we get on with this one. Where shall I start? Let's start down at the tail. Sometimes I don't think I put enough paint on the brush. And that's maybe why I struggle. With like finer lines and detail. But then you don't want to put too much on either, do you? Because then you go right over the edges and cock everything up. Which I feel like I'm doing on this tail. Okay, sharpen it up a bit. That's better. I was thinking of doing, I can't do it now, but I really like the, I saw somebody that had done them in the style of like the xenomorphs from the Alien films. So had done them black with like the silver teeth, and it looks so badass. It's just sod's law when you've done like most of your army and then you see another variation on them and you think, oh damn, that would have looked really cool. It's very simple paint as well. It's literally just black all over them, like a bit of a grey highlight and what looked like a dry brush. And then the silver teeth. And then he used like a gloss, what's it called? Varnish to finish them off. And it just made them all like wet look and shiny, which I thought looked really good. And I wish I could remember the name of the guy that I saw do that, but I can't. I guess if you want to see it, you'll have to Google like aliens or alien Tyranids theme. I just came across it purely by accident, actually. I was looking at different different hive themes and it came up. I feel like I'm painting somebody's bloody toenails. I bet women are much better at this than men. Well, maybe not all of them, but like generally, because they're used to like applying nail. Well, I suppose not all of them are used to applying nail varnish and stuff, but I've seen a few on Threads that are pretty good at painting. I've seen one that kind of, I forget what she calls it. She dolls them up, makes them look all pink with diamante and stuff on. I think they look hilarious, but they also look, I always think it would be fun to do something like that and then just go to a tournament and beat everybody. We're a long way from that. I haven't even played my first game yet. Like I say, that's coming up on Tuesday. One of the guys at the club has kindly offered to teach me how to play, which I thought was very courteous of him. I'm thinking of getting a Norn emissary for this army as well. I'll have to replace something with it because I'm almost at my limit. I think this is 1,985 points. Obviously not everything is currently on this desk. I've got some display cases just off the camera, just at the top, where I've got some of the stuff that I've already painted. Screamer Killer, another Psychophage, a Broodlord, some more Termagants, some Barb Gaunts, what else have I got? A Haruspex, some Gene Stealers, what the little crazy nutty razor thingies, the little things, I forgot what they're called. Ripper? Yeah, they're called Rippers, aren't they? Got a couple of Ripper squads. I think I've got 6 of those in total. 2 squads of 3. What else have I got up there? I've got a Death Leaper, which is almost finished. I just need to do the base, maybe a little bit of detail on him. Maybe I'll show you the Screamer Killer in a minute. Quite proud of that one. I'm not sure if I've shown that on any of my previous videos. That is literally the very first Warhammer 40,000 model I ever painted. I did a pretty good job on it, I think. I've just realised I've painted the wrong part. I was supposed to paint this part on the inside here, but I guess it doesn't matter too much. But let's try and concentrate on one part before we start painting different legs. Why is that a bit white? On the hoof there. Hoof. I think that's because it needs to be green and I don't want to go over it black. This is coming off. I really need to magnetise this. I need to magnetise my models as well. I've got a new case coming tomorrow to enable me to carry my Nid to the club. I need to magnetise the bases. I'm just using these little tiny magnets. I think they're like 2 mil by 2 mil or something, or 3 mil by 2 mil. Very small, very light. Using Gorilla Glue, super glue, just to attach them to the bottom. Where are we going to go in with this? Let's go there. Ooh, went over a little bit there. It's not too bad. Oh, actually, no, I didn't. I thought I had because it was green, but I'd actually gone over to the chitin with the green. Oh, I almost did then, though. Let's get the inside of that leg. I forgot what I was saying now. I think I was talking about the Screamer Killer, wasn't I? First one I've ever painted, yeah. Pretty chuffed with it. I think it's it was probably a wise choice to pick that because it's quite big, and I found it a lot easier to paint than I did when I immediately went on to Termagants afterwards, because they are frustrating. They're so small. And the little Ripper squads. Holy cow, the Ripper squads. I made the mistake of gluing them all together and then struggling to get into the small gaps to paint the inside sides of them. What's going on here with this chin? I thought that was a bit of leg that I'd missed with the green, but it's not. It's where the chitin or the carapace. Is it a carapace chitin? I don't know. I guess all of the above. Almost there. This is the bit that I'm nervous about. In here, I have a habit. I'm going to try and be really careful. I have a habit of touching other parts that I don't want to touch. Oh shit. That was close. Ah, there we go. I just touched one of the tentacles from the mouth. Damn it! I knew I would. Okay, we didn't do too badly. It's probably a bit too much paint under there. I've pulled it a little bit, but I think we can get away with it because I just missed a bit there. Because it's underneath and it would naturally be darker there. Okay, nice. What we got? Just the top, the head, and the big long talons. Let's do this bit then. Okay, I don't like that part. Completely missed that, didn't I? When I was cutting the sprue. Easy cover up. I wish I could show you my face in the magnifying glass. My eyes must look like that meme of the guy with the big thick milk bottle glasses. My face is right up to it. I'm not even sure if that's the way you're supposed to use it, but it works for me, so. So that's how I do it. Stick with what works, eh? Quite sure what was going on with my finger there, sticking out like some sort of weird. Oh, I missed this little one here. How can I get into this? Let's do. I like it when you get like a little reprieve like that with a big area and you can just slap it on. Cover quite a broad area quite quickly there. And then you've got to tighten up again though. up at those edges. I'm just going to pull that black out a little bit because it's pooling up by the spine area. Just noticed a little bit that I'd missed there. How am I going to do this bit here? Sometimes it's just about finding the right way in, isn't it? Gosh, that's a real pain to get into that part. I'm going to have to come in from the top, I think, and dab, which I don't like doing. We got it mostly. Split the brush a bit there though. I'm going to rinse that off and reapply that that point. I think the paint was drying slightly in there. Give it a good lick. Get some fresh paint on there. Now we've got a new point. That's helpful. Oh no, went on his neck a little bit. I didn't want that black there, never mind. Dang, this model's a tricksy one. I guess this is why people paint like pre-assembly. I did that with the Screamer Killer. Gotta be honest, it was a lot easier. I really need to do that more. Cut it all off the sprue, base it, or prime it, whatever you want to call that. What have I done here? There's a bit on his top of his head as well that I've not cut off. And a bit on there. I've really muffed this up. Yeah, I really don't like that part on his head there. There's even a bit on the top of his... I'm gonna have to fix that. I don't like that at all. That was easy to fix, but the green head part doesn't look like that's going to be particularly easy to fix. I may have to paint over that with Wraithbone and then go over with green. Man, this is difficult to get into these parts. There we go, sometimes you've got to let the paint do a little bit of the work, haven't you? Ah! Oh, okay, I didn't get paint. Okay. Onto the head. Now I need to be careful. Especially around the eyes. Lovely. Did a pretty good job that side. I think this side's going to be more difficult because one of the arms is kind of obstructing it a little bit. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's make sure that bit's black. I know I'm going over. I don't like that shape on his head. That's better. I feel like it's too thin as it goes up the back of the head. I want that a little bit thicker, but I'm aware the chitten's not there, but I'm just gonna. I think I'm just gonna do that. Just push that down a little bit more. Yeah, that's better. Okay, last bit. Let's do the underneath first. Just drag that all the way across. I'm being quite rough with that. I'm not being too neat or delicate there. It doesn't really need it to be. I'm wondering whether any of you have seen the green with the black before. I don't think I have. I could be very wrong. Maybe I have seen it, that's why I thought it was a good idea. You know, subconsciously, you've seen it and then you think, oh, actually, yeah, that's my idea, but it's actually not your idea at all. Somebody's done it long before you. I'm sure somebody has done it long before me. But let me know what you think. I think that's the only kind of thing that my hive is going to have in common, really. The black carapace chitin, I forget what it's called. I keep saying that. Apart from the ones that have got the purple, obviously. The old school. This is actually really easy to do. I'm just coming down at the angle that they are, I'm just coming straight off the edge. I figured this would be more time consuming. I guess as long as you're pressing gently and pulling up and away. Up, up and away. Oh, and then I made a mistake, so who cares? There we go. I think he is about done. We're definitely going to need another coat on the plates. Oh no, it went on the green there. I really didn't want to do that. Yeah, we're going to definitely need another coat. It's not dark enough. I want it to be like jet black. There's the Von Ryan's Leaper. I think we'll do the Psychophage next. Alright, so we've got a bigger brush for this one. I think I'm going to go with the 2. I'm not going to use the handle for this. I think we're just going to go straight on. I figure this will get some good coverage and it won't take excessively long to paint. Should be relatively easy to keep a smooth edge. Also, I don't want massive brush strokes everywhere. I can always go around the edge of a thinner brush if I struggle. I think for the most part I'll be alright though. I just had a quick check of how long. God, time flies, doesn't it? Just over an hour I was recording for, just on 2 miniatures there. Just on that Von Ryan's Leaper and the Termagant. Obviously I've edited some of that out. I'm sure you don't want to watch me paint one model for over half an hour just putting black onto the carapace. Right, I need some more black here, I've run out. Where did I put it? That was here. One thing I do find with these dropper bottles is those ball bearings get in the nozzle, which is a pain in the ass. I feel like we can be a bit more aggressive with this black and just kind of whack it on. I don't know what colour I'm going to do this stuff coming out the top. I guess I'll get to that at some point. I don't want to go with black. I don't want to go with green. Maybe I'll do like a pinky colour. I don't know. Something that contrasts with it. Something bright. I'll have a think about it. I'll find something. I'll find a suitable colour. I'll probably go online and get some inspiration from somebody on YouTube or Threads. Threads seems to have a real nice Warhammer community, you know. Quite surprised actually. It's very hit and miss social media, isn't it? It can be quite toxic. I tend to just block people like that anymore. I used to argue with them. I don't have the energy anymore. Just a waste of my time and everybody else's time as well. So now I just block them. Yeah, this was definitely the right choice. I probably could have got away with an even bigger brush, to be honest, but I don't have one. Part of me thinks it's not a good idea to paint over that centre part, but I guess if I decide to do something with that later, I can just go over it with a bit of white, a bit of Wraithbone or white or something, and then colour it in, maybe with a green, I don't know. I'm going to need to put some more black paint in a minute, because I've nearly... Ah! No, don't you dare pull in there. You son of a... Okay, it's not the end of the world. Had a little bit too much on the brush and I pushed a little bit too heavy there. Well, we've learnt from that mistake, we won't do that again. Or will I? That's the question. That needs to be black as well. Just realised I'm doing that really carefully there and it actually needs to be black. Oh, I almost done it again then. Oh, almost. Just dabbing that in there. Let's get that black slapped all the way up. Need some more black. Don't want to put too much in that palette, so it dries out, and then you waste your paint. Right, I need to be careful here. There we go. Even more careful underneath. Lovely. Oh, I just painted my magnet. My magnet and magnifying glass. Enjoying that. Right, careful again. Lovely. Perfect. I'm actually surprised I'm managing to do such a delicate line there with this brush. It just goes to show that they are very, very good quality brushes. I would like to assume some of the responsibility though, with a steady hand for a change. My thoughts around this pitch situation here is I'm going to do this green. I'm wondering whether it would make sense to do it black actually. I think it makes more sense if I do it black. I'm going to do it black. I feel like it's part of the carapace that's kind of spreading to open that more. And then when it closes up, it's protecting it, armouring it. Yeah, I definitely think that was the way. Gosh, try and get under there now. That'll do. It's coming along nicely, right? We're getting there. We're getting there. I like that. I like it a lot, in fact. I keep saying that. Let's get the underneath of that done. And the back as well that I've missed. That's quite tricksy to get to. I can't get to that other side. You know when there's a bit there that you can't get to, and yeah, it's barely visible, but like you know it's there. I think I got it. If I know it's there, that's going to bug me. Yeah, I think that just breaks up that underbelly, doesn't it? Oh shit, I can't see that properly. There we go. Yeah, that breaks up that underbelly a little bit, so it's not just a big open green belly. Careful here. Keep moving that brush around, getting into different angles. There we go. Nice. Was delicate. I probably should have gone for a different brush there, but I was fairly confident that I could do it. Just have to be very gentle. Pretty chuffed with that. I don't know what I'm going to do at the back there though, and underneath. That's going to be a right pain in the ass. I'm wondering. No, I've glued it on. Uh-oh. Oh, I had a bit of a shaky hand there with that part. This is the last delicate part to do, really. Right, now let's differentiate which part is green and which part is black. So that part, I think this part is going to be black. God, I'm making life difficult for myself, I know that much. Yeah. Okay. Making life very difficult for myself. I could have just left that green, I suppose. But I don't want it green, I want it black. There we go. Definitely going to need another coat though, because you can still see some of that green through it. Cool. Going to need a bit more black in a minute, I think. Where are we going black? This part here. Pressed a little bit too hard then, but I got away with it because it went in the grooves and didn't spread out. Just need to be a bit more gentle. Sometimes when I'm coming towards the end, I'll inadvertently start speeding up, and that can be pretty catastrophic for me anyway. I don't know about you, maybe you're very capable of painting faster. Or maybe you're like me and you're slow and you have to take your time. I let that brush dry a little bit too much there. That's one of the things that I'll often forget, to rinse the brush off enough. Need a little bit more paint, not too much, because I don't want to waste any. Right, what was I doing? It was around there, wasn't it? Which part was it? What was that part? Just want to make sure I'm doing the mirror image. I've missed a bit in there. Let's make sure I'm doing it correctly both sides. It's not quite a mirror image. So it comes around there, this side. There we go. I was actually painting the wrong part then. I was meant to be painting this part on top here. Luckily that other bit is black as well. Oh shit. Oh no, that was right. That's not going on very well there. It's very watery. There we go. I'm going to have to touch that bit up after with some Ravebone, so I've got black on where I don't want it. Why is that not? There we go. Let's just bring that black down the front as well, like we did on the previous side. Well, that was a tricksy way of getting in there between the claws. The brush is spreading. Why is the brush spreading? There we go. Beautiful. Just underneath there. I got a bit of black where I didn't want it then, but I think, or where I didn't mean to put it. I think we got away with that because it's on the claw. Yeah, I think we just about got away with that. tiny bit further over than I'd want it, but not the end of the world. Now I've got to try and get under there. That wasn't too difficult. It looked like it was going to be. I need to start basing some of these as well. There's I always leave the basing to last. It really really finishes them off, doesn't it, the basing? Really upgrades your figures. So we just need to do the big claw, and I think that's all of the black that I'm going to do. Still not really too sure how I'm going to do these tentacles. I am considering doing green on the outside and like a pink in the middle, but I'll have to mull that over, I think. Oh, I need to do that bit underneath. That should be black as well, shouldn't it? I don't know how I'm going to get to all of that though. That's going to be a right pain in the butt. Yeah, that's going to be really freaking difficult. This is why I shouldn't have stuck it to the base. But let's do the big claw. And I think we're done. I will go off and paint some more of those termagants and do something with that. I forgot what that's called. I'll do something with it. Right, gently. Right, bloody hell, throw it across the room. I think we are done for now on that one. I'm going to do that underneath part somehow. I'm not really sure how, if I'm completely honest. I'll figure it out. Well, pretty much like what I'm doing now. There's going to be lots of different angles in and out here, I think. And lots of praying, hoping and praying that I don't go too wild. I don't think it's going to matter too much under there. Like I say, we always think that, oh no, but what if somebody has a look at it, and who's going to pick it up and criticise your painting? And if they do, they're an asshole, like I said. And you should probably avoid that kind of person, unless it's like a mate who's just giving you a bit of banter. Because we all like to rib our friends, don't we? In fact, that's done, that side. That was easy. I just used the long bristles that I was saying I wish were a bit shorter earlier, which are actually perfect for this. In fact, I may as well just finish that. And then I will stick these all on the display at the end of the video, just so that you can get a little look at what I've done today. Although, what's going on here? Why's that brush dried out? Hey, say, if you're still with me, you might have seen me do it all anyway, so you might not need to see that, but I'll do it anyway. I feel like it's some sort of bloody Chinese calligraphy at the end here. I think we've done a fairly decent job under there, to be fair. I'm pretty chuffed with that. Right, that's that one. I'm going to stick them on the display, spin them around so you can have a look at them. And then I'm going to paint the rest of them. Like I said guys, it's something a little bit different today. I thought I'd just do a bit of painting. I'm going to go build Lord Castellan Ursula Creed now, so keep an eye out for that video. I'll see you then.